60 Pittsburgh.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again.
They'll start the drive with a carry by McCoy. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that. Out of the shotgun, it's McCoy. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
A quick burst there, and he nicely, a pretty decent gain.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, it's Kelly. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. With that, here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. You do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and not when you do that.
Come on, set. 60, orange. Come on, D. Watch the protein spill.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ends up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
The first down run with Chubb is going to go nowhere. He's, in fact, going to lose a couple. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
50, Mike 50. Watch the run, watch the run.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Love. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Call that a very strong gain of 24. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it. You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Justin Lane there defensively that time to knock it free.
I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, already looked his way a couple of times on this opening drive. Can't connect there. On 3rd down, Love. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
This one taken just inside the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That, too. It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here's Kelly to throw on 3rd down. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started at the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had, what he was going to do this season. And, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellas up front, leverage, and, boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks for him.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He's going to loft one, deep left side here, and unable to connect, incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
The Steelers' offense now, they head back onto the field. They've had it twice. They punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
To throw on 3rd down, Kelly. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Now a first down carry here from McCoy. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 20 carries, 94 yards.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they build any type of a change-up.
Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 28.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Set. 60 or.
Now a first down throw. Kelly got his man complete over the middle. That's Lambert. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And that'll bring up second down. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. From the gun, Kelly. This will be caught just inside the 10. He had 3 catches last week. That one his 3rd on this drive alone. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Just like that. Just like that.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Kelly operating from the gun. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. A costly penalty there. A lineman got downfield, and for the moment, that cost him 6 points.
Set up. 60 Pittsburgh.
56. Got you. I got you, son.
Fine.
Now Kelly. Underneath for Miller. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
One man in the backfield, that's Miller, 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Lamar Miller, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have taken the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer. This will be fielded at the 6.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. To throw on second down. Love. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. That's complete. It's Kyle Juszczyk. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 31-yard line.
And the big guy catches the ball in the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Check your hot read. 22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Ready, go.
On second down, it's Crawford. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Browns on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is third down and 12. From the gun, Love. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up second and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
For those who watch the game and want to question the courage of the guys who play on the corner, how about when you see a toss sweep coming your way, yet you still go into the backfield, get past the blockers, and make the tackle? That's big league.
Now on second and 13. Kelly. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 32-yard line. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first.
I don't know whether I want to be a fly on the wall or not when they hear the explanation of how one of the bigger targets on the field, the tight end, can be that wide open and uncovered downfield. Who blew that assignment?
Somebody did.
No doubt about it. He's
going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. That is caught inside the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Over 70 yards receiving now for him in this first half alone, as he's got a first down on that last catch.
Come on, set, 8,
2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now Kelly. And it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new school defense.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal.
On the set.
56 is Mike. Rip left.
5.
To throw is Kelly. From the gun, he'll throw. This will be caught at about the 5. That'll bring out 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
2nd and goal from the 1. Here's Kelly. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Lamar Miller with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays. The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Off the play fake. Love. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled out a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
Looking to throw on second down. Love. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun. Love. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 30. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Following the penalty, Chubb. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw. Love into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
No room to be had there on the first down run as he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Again, it's Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. To throw, Kelly. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a fourth down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. Let's go.
They'll run on first down. Crawford, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb, and not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with third and long. And, you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on third down. Looking to throw. Love. Got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Back to throw. Love. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
After the penalty, it's Miller. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. To throw on 2nd and 6. Kelly, this is caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Steelers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. A run for Nick Chubb. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On 3rd down, it's Crawford. He finds an opening past the 40. And finally brought down at the 31-yard line. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Steelers' 31-yard line. Off play action. Love. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Looking to throw. Love. Complete to Bryant. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is, at the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Kelly to throw, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns.
Did I just see what I thought I saw? Did I just see what I thought? That had to be. Come on, say it for me. Say it for me. Who picked up that pass?
The free safety.
Oh, you got to have those great skills back there. Eyes, anticipation, great hands. And, of course, how about the fluid moves afterwards to take it all the way to the house?
Sounds like you're watching your old game film up here in your head.
Yeah, that's the dream I had of being that player. I just never was.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. They'll run with Miller. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 34-yard line. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
56, Mike, 56, right there, 56.
On first down, it's Kelly. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon. But with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
On second down, here's Miller. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
This one taken just inside the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Love. Bryant has it. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 24 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? This will be caught inside the 10. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
I want to go back to something you said in the first quarter about winning.
Is it a positive?
It is a positive.
Okay.
About winning the turnover battle. As a visiting team, as an underdog, you were right. They've done just that, and look where it's gotten them.
It's part of the formula. When you go on the road, as you mentioned, being an underdog.
And this is going to be intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Miller will get it. He has been busy today. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellows up front in order to bring this one home.
Miller, he's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. He lost 2, and it brings up 4. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you...
This is caught inside the 15. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Antonio Callaway, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns get a score closer. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will be cut down to 14. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. On 1st down, Miller, and 3 yards there takes him to the 45. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Kelly now on third down. Over the middle, complete. It's Potter. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a 20th carry of the game for Lamar Miller. And he'll get it down here to the 43. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll run it again with Miller. And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 39. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. And the Steelers on third down, 5 out of 9 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Kelly to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought.
And now on 4th and 1, it's a fake. And some strong running. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense. And this Browns defense stands tall.
Anytime a fake doesn't work, we usually focus our attention on the guys that were unsuccessful. But how about the defensive guys? They have to plan all week. They have to prepare all week. Special teams, it looked like they were educated for that one.
Educated on their toes and getting a big stop. He's going to walk one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Looking to erase a 2-score deficit here in the 4th quarter, going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they? Forget trying to move the ball downfield in small little increments. Let's go for the big one. But how about the defense playing situational football, looking at the scoreboard and realizing what can hurt us most? The deep shot. They played it well.
Now this throw caught left side. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Looking to throw. Love. Now a desk. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Big gains in succession. Last one was over 20. This one over 30. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here. Back to throw. Love. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Snags it for the pick. And a short return to the 6-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
A very costly holding penalty. It backs them up all the way inside their 10 to start this drive. Lamar Miller. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Game offense.
They were already backed up. Now they're backed up further.
I think they were being so careful to make sure all assignments were covered that they ended up running themselves out of time.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Miller. And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know I'm not breaking any news when I say that any road win in this league is a good one.
No doubt.
But it's a double bonus when you get a victory on the road in your division.
And when you start a season, each team breaks down their schedule in different ways. Some do it every 4 games, right? Let's go quarterly. Others say, listen, we've got to take care of our home field. And, you know, out of a 16-game season, if you get 8 at home, let's at least win 7 at home and split our road games. That's what you're trying